What if the very core of power rests not in domination, but in the delicate skill of connection? In a world that often equates power with control, the lessons of Machiavelli call us to explore a deeper truth. The most profound strength comes from vulnerability. The dilemma we face is not only about how to achieve power, but how to utilize it responsibly in our interpersonal relationships. Machiavelli, widely considered as the embodiment of ruthless pragmatism, presents lessons that extend far beyond the political world. His views urge us to reevaluate our attitude to power dynamics, especially in the context of intimate relationships. He challenges us to see that true power is less about manipulation and more about knowing human nature. It is about negotiating the complexities of our connections and establishing relationships that live on sincerity and empathy. Imagine approaching relationships with the perspective that vulnerability is not a burden, but an opportunity. By admitting our shortcomings and uncertainties, we create a space where others feel safe to do the same. This shift in perspective transforms our interactions, helping us to establish stronger bonds based on mutual respect and understanding. As we delve deeper into Machiavelli's beliefs, we will uncover the various ways in which power and vulnerability interweave. The voyage begins with an exploration of Machiavelli's key concepts about power, followed by a dissection of how these principles materialize in our daily lives. Each chapter will challenge you to reconsider your knowledge of power dynamics and motivate you to take a more compassionate and truthful attitude to your interactions. Machiavelli's writings contain a complex tapestry of insights into the nature of power, integrating historical context with insightful observations on human behavior. At the heart of his ideology lies a stark yet vital truth. Power is not intrinsically good or bad. Rather, it is a tool that may be wielded for multiple ends, depending on the intentions of the individual. In The Prince, Machiavelli famously contends that the ends frequently justify the methods. This contentious remark leads us to explore the ethical consequences of our activities. While it may be tempting to embrace a purely utilitarian perspective, this approach can lead to a hazardous disdain for the moral fabric that keeps society together. Herein lays the paradox. To effectively wield power, one must be acutely aware of the ethical boundaries that govern relationships. Furthermore, Machiavelli highlights the significance of adaptation. The effective ruler, he believes, is one who can navigate the fluctuating tides of fortune and public opinion. This notion is similarly applicable to personal relationships, where the ability to adjust to shifting dynamics can determine the strength and length of our connections. Understanding. Machiavelli's concept of power offers us with the tools to reflect on our own relationships. As we grasp the fluid nature of power, we are urged to adopt a more strategic approach to our encounters, focusing on the delicate balance between assertiveness and empathy. In this light, power becomes not a tool for domination, but a vehicle for promoting understanding and connection. In summary, Machiavelli's theories indicate that power can be utilized responsibly, as long as we stay cognizant of its impact on others. As we continue our inquiry, let us evaluate how these principles might lead us in navigating our interpersonal interactions, helping us harness power in a way that encourages authenticity and respect. Power dynamics in personal relationships are complex and sometimes misinterpreted. They are molded by several elements, including individual personalities, cultural backgrounds, and past experiences. In many circumstances, power appears in subtle ways, through control, manipulation, or even passive aggressiveness. Recognizing these patterns is vital for establishing healthy interactions. Machiavelli's theories provide a framework for understanding how power operates inside our interactions. One crucial feature is the idea that power is not fixed. It varies depending on context and the persons involved. For instance, an apparently confident individual may battle with thoughts of inadequacy in specific social context, thereby shifting the power balance. This mobility reminds us that power is not simply about dominating. It is also about perception and self-awareness. Moreover, power can be communicated through vulnerability. When we allow ourselves to be vulnerable, we create opportunity for deeper connections. Sharing our concerns and insecurities can create trust, enabling others to reciprocate. This reciprocal vulnerability transforms the power dynamic, converting it from one of competition to partnership. It is crucial to note that power dynamics can lead to conflict when individuals fail to grasp the underlying motivations driving their behavior. Misunderstandings develop when, for example, a person behaves defensively owing to a perceived threat to their autonomy, even when no such threat exists. This reaction can aggravate tensions and create rifts in relationships. To negotiate these interactions effectively, we must build emotional intelligence. This requires identifying our own triggers and comprehending the viewpoints of others. By doing so, we can respond to disagreements with empathy rather than defensiveness, generating an environment conducive to open communication and resolution. In summary, recognizing power dynamics in personal relationships helps us to interact more, truly and effectively. As we continue to explore these topics, let us remain mindful of the intricacies of power and the need of mutual respect and understanding. In a society that typically associates vulnerability with weakness, Machiavelli rejects this perception by highlighting its role as a potent instrument in human interactions. Vulnerability, when embraced, can act as a catalyst for greater connections and understanding. Rather than sheltering ourselves behind emotional barriers, we might see that exposing our genuine selves enables for authentic connections to thrive. Machiavelli believes that to wield power successfully, one must first be conscious of their own vulnerabilities. This self-awareness enables individuals to negotiate relationships with better understanding and compassion. By exposing our shortcomings, we not only humanize ourselves, but also allow others to lower their defenses. This reciprocity can lead to more lasting friendships as both sides feel noticed and understood. Moreover, vulnerability develops trust, a crucial component of every healthy connection. When we express our concerns, uncertainties, and challenges, we signal to others that it is safe for them to do the same. This openness provides a supportive environment where individuals feel empowered to express themselves without fear of condemnation. In this area, collaboration and mutual progress become feasible. However, accepting vulnerability does not mean relinquishing limits. It is vital to discern when and with whom to discuss personal experiences. Machiavelli's teachings remind us that power relations are ever present, and we must negotiate them with caution. The art of vulnerability comes in balancing openness with self-protection, ensuring that we engage in interactions that uplift rather than weaken us. Navigating power dynamics in personal relationships demands a deliberate strategy that blends assertiveness with sensitivity. Machiavelli's lessons give essential insights into the art of maneuvering through these intricacies, offering us with tools to enrich our interactions and strengthen our bonds. One effective method is active listening. By honestly connecting with others and recognizing their feelings, we display respect and build an environment where open conversation may grow. This strategy not only helps to alleviate possible disagreements, but also places us as allies rather than enemies in the relationship. In this approach, we transform the power dynamic from competition to partnership. Another crucial tactic is the art of questioning. By asking open-ended questions, we invite others to share their thoughts and feelings, developing a greater knowledge of their viewpoints. This method not only develops empathy, but also allows us to detect underlying motivations and concerns that may not be immediately evident. As we grow this knowledge, we empower ourselves to respond more carefully, strengthening our ability to negotiate the intricacies of interpersonal dynamics. Moreover, setting healthy limits is vital for preserving balance in relationships. Machiavelli emphasizes the significance of recognizing one's boundaries and the limits of others. Establishing firm boundaries not only preserves our well-being, but also conveys to others that we value ourselves and want the same in return. This practice promotes mutual respect, which is necessary for negotiating power dynamics efficiently. Additionally, focusing on our past experiences might bring valuable insights into our current relationships. By evaluating how we have previously managed power struggles and conflicts, we can find patterns and build methods for improvement. This self-reflection allows us to grow and adapt, enabling us to approach future conversations with greater confidence and clarity. Ultimately, utilizing these tactics produces a more balanced power dynamic in our interactions. As we continue to study the complicated interaction of power and vulnerability, let us remain committed to building true connections that encourage understanding, respect, and collaboration. Cultural influences play a key role in defining how power dynamics develop in personal relationships. Machiavelli's teachings remind us that power is not only an individual construct, it is profoundly interwoven with societal norms and ideals. Understanding these cultural subtleties is vital for handling relationships effectively. Different cultures have varied perceptions of power and authority. In some countries, hierarchical systems are emphasized, where respect for authority leaders is vital. This cultural backdrop might lead to power dynamics that favor compliance over free discourse. Conversely, other cultures may foster egalitarian ideas, encouraging collaboration and shared decision-making. Recognizing these cultural differences enables us to approach relationships with awareness and adaptation. Furthermore, cultural narratives often impact our attitudes about vulnerability and emotional expression. In societies that promote stoicism, individuals may feel forced to repress their emotions, considering vulnerability as a sign of weakness. This perspective can hamper true connections, creating barriers to effective communication. By contrast, societies that cultivate emotional openness develop an environment where vulnerability is celebrated, boosting trust and intimacy. Machiavelli's ideas remind us that power is fluid and context-dependent. As we navigate relationships across cultural barriers, it is crucial to remain conscious of these interactions. By cultivating cultural intelligence, we may change our communication styles and techniques to resonate with those around us. This adaptability not only helps our interpersonal success, but also enriches our understanding of the numerous ways in which power operates. In summary, knowing the influence of culture on power dynamics empowers us to relate more meaningfully with others. As we continue to explore the complicated interplay between power and vulnerability, let us remain open to the different viewpoints that define our relationships. In today's digital age, social media has altered the way we connect, substantially, altering power dynamics in intimate relationships. Machiavelli's theories about manipulation and perception resonate strongly in this new landscape, where online personas can differ radically from real-life identities. Social media platforms provide individuals unparalleled chances to edit their photographs and tales. This effect can lead to skewed perceptions of power. Users typically exhibit an idealized image of themselves, providing a sense of confidence and success. However, behind these masks may lurk insecurities and vulnerabilities. Recognizing this gap challenges us to look beyond surface representations, fostering deeper connections based on authenticity rather than just appearances. Moreover, the rapid nature of social media communication can increase power clashes. Misunderstandings are widespread in digital communications, where tone and intent can readily be misread. In negotiating these digital power relations, it becomes vital to cultivate transparency, authenticity, and conscious communication. Misinterpretation often leads to problems that may have been avoided through face-to-face conversation. Machiavelli's emphasis on clear communication is particularly pertinent here, since establishing true discussion becomes vital in navigating these complications. Social media also provides a new dimension of vulnerability. The act of sharing personal thoughts and experiences online exposes individuals to potential judgment and criticism. This danger can generate a sense of camaraderie but may also result in fear of rejection or scorn. Embracing vulnerability in this atmosphere demands courage, as individuals must tread the narrow line between openness and self-protection. Furthermore, social media can generate a misleading sense of connection. While technology enables us to maintain ties across distances, it can also lead to shallow exchanges that lack depth. Machiavelli's teachings remind us that true power in relationships originates from meaningful ties founded in mutual understanding and respect. In summary, the impact of social media on power relations is considerable, prompting us to reconsider our interactions. By being conscious of these complexities, we may utilize the potential of digital platforms while aiming for authenticity and true connection in our interactions. In intimate relationships, power games often occur, motivated by underlying motivations and ambitions. Machiavelli's insights into manipulation provide a prism through which we can recognize and comprehend these strategies, helping us to navigate our interactions with better understanding. Manipulation can show in numerous forms: covert or overt, emotional or psychological. Individuals may use guilt, flattery, or terror to influence others' behaviors and decisions. Recognizing these methods demands a high sense of self-awareness and the capacity to read between the lines. By knowing the intents underlying others' acts, we may better assess the genuineness of our interactions. One typical manipulation strategy is the victim card. This method entails portraying oneself as a victim to evoke sympathy and control the narrative. While it is crucial to empathize with others' problems, it is equally important to detect when someone is leveraging their vulnerability for manipulation. Machiavelli's teachings remind us that compassion should not come at the expense of our own boundaries. Another approach is gaslighting, where individuals distort reality to make others doubt their viewpoint. This can generate confusion and uneasiness, ultimately altering the power balance in favor of the manipulator. Recognizing gaslighting involves an unflinching commitment to our own truths and a grasp of the dynamics at play. Furthermore, creating appropriate boundaries becomes vital in combating manipulation. By articulating our limitations clearly, we protect ourselves from being dragged into power games that damage our well-being. Machiavelli emphasizes the necessity of knowing one's worth, which serves as a foundation for defining and maintaining boundaries. Ultimately, identifying and comprehending manipulation strategies permits us to engage in relationships that are authentic and mutually beneficial. As we continue to study the nuances of power dynamics, let us be watchful and intentional in our interactions, establishing cultures of trust and respect. Romantic relationships frequently serve as the ultimate stage for studying power dynamics, as love and desire mix with control and influence. Machiavelli's views shed light on these subtle interactions, establishing a framework for understanding how power occurs within the context of intimacy. In many romantic partnerships, power can shift imperceptibly, influenced by factors such as emotional engagement, dependency, and individual aspirations. Machiavelli reminds us that awareness of these shifts is crucial for keeping a healthy equilibrium. A flourishing relationship requires both partners to feel respected and powerful. However, it's simple for one partner to accidentally take dominance due to financial security, emotional support, or social standing. This imbalance might lead to resentment and discontent. Mutual respect and collaboration are vital. Both views must be heard, and vulnerability should be embraced, though it can be perilous if one partner exploits the other's openness. Recognizing These risks helps maintain integrity in relationships. Clear communication is the foundation of healthy partnerships. Open discussions about expectations, aspirations, and boundaries foster equity. Conflict is unavoidable, but how we handle it establishes the strength of our ties. Rather than considering power as a weapon for control, it can be used to create open communication and understanding. Active listening validates feelings, diffuses stress, and offers safety. Machiavelli emphasized that listening is frequently more powerful than speaking. Conflicts should be considered as growth opportunities. Instead of seeing arguments as dangers, they can help partners understand one another better. Adaptability is key. Evolving through obstacles strengthens both individuals and relationships. Setting aside ego is key. Valuing the relationship over the drive to be correct creates collaboration instead of competition. By using power constructively, disputes create chances for deeper connection. Embracing these lessons leads to durable, meaningful partnerships. Exploring power dynamics stimulates contemplation on influence, connection, and authenticity. True strength rests not in control, but in creating trust and mutual respect. By recognizing these dynamics, we learn tools to handle conflict, embrace vulnerability, and empower one another. How have you navigated power in relationships? Share your opinions and experiences. The route to deeper, more lasting connections starts with awareness, intention, and the willingness to grow together.